I woke up this morning to 1 million subscribers on YouTube. Before I get started in this video, I just want to give a big thanks to everyone that's watching this, to everyone that's subscribed, to everyone that's ever been subscribed to my channel, to everyone that's ever left a comment, left a like, that's ever given me a shout out of any kind. It's because of you that I've made it this far, that my journey is here at 1 million subscribers. It's crazy when I'm thinking back to my first video, NBA 2K8. Ben Wallace doing that spin move, hitting that jumper from the free throw line. No commentary back then. To now where I'm doing all different kind of games, FIFA, Call of Duty, all these Let's Plays, but I'm still making videos of the game that I started out with, NBA 2K. So I just wanted to say thank you. I have some things in store, but I have to be honest, I got to 1 million subscribers way too fast. I wasn't expecting it to happen this fast. I thought maybe later in the year. So all the things I had planned, I still haven't planned, and I'm still gonna do them, but they're gonna be a little bit later. So let me talk about Dwight Howard leaving the Los Angeles Lakers in free agency, leaving $30 million on the table to join the Houston Rockets. That right there says clearly that Dwight Howard wants to win a championship, but did he make the right decision? I'll get into that in a little bit, but first, let's talk about Laker fans and just anybody really that's disappointed in Dwight Howard leaving. You have to remember that when the Lakers made that trade for Dwight Howard, they knew very well that he was not going to sign a contract extension if you made the trade. So it was a huge risk to make the trade in the first place, to go and trade Bynum and get him on your team. And all the NBA teams knew that. That's why they backed out of trade talks, because they couldn't get Dwight Howard to commit to sign a contract extension. So leasing him for 1 year just wasn't a good idea for most of these teams. And the Lakers, they had their chance. They had their one season to convince Dwight Howard to stay. But we all know what happened. It was a nightmare season. All the injuries. They had to change coaches. They almost didn't make the playoffs. This was a very bad experience. This is coming from a guy who's been to the NBA Finals with the Orlando Magic. Dwight Howard was used to winning. Not winning championships, but he was making the playoffs. He was going deep into the playoffs. He even made it to the finals. So for him to go from that situation to the nightmare that it was in LA, especially after coming back from that injury, he wasn't 100% when he first came back. He was playing very bad. He got better as the season went on, but he was coming back from that injury. So for him to come back and have all this happen, it just didn't leave a good taste in his mouth. And I don't blame him for wanting to leave. I think if I was Dwight Howard, I would want to leave as well, because when he was on the Orlando Magic, yeah, their team wasn't really that good, but defensively, they were much better than the Lakers. The Lakers, their defense was terrible. It was absolutely terrible the way they were losing some of their games. And that really shouldn't be the case, because you've got Kobe, you've got Pau Gasol, you've got Steve Nash. Like, it just wasn't supposed to be bad like this. Like, when they made those trades, those acquisitions on paper, everyone was saying the Lakers are going to win it all this season. And then it just all goes downhill like that. It was just a nightmare. It was a Dwight-mare. That's what it was. And no matter what way you look at it, the Lakers were just not a team built for Dwight Howard, because they didn't have good spacing. They had Gasol, Metta World Peace. They need really good three-point shooting so that Dwight can go down low and do what he does. And then he didn't get that many touches. It just wasn't a good fit. And then looking into the future, this team was aging. They don't look like they have a very bright future. Kobe has a few more seasons left. But after that, it's just not looking that good for the Lakers. Now, one thing we can't forget is that trade that got blocked by David Stern. The Lakers were going to have Chris Paul and Dwight Howard on that team to start the season. If that trade didn't get blocked, that would have been crazy. I mean, who knows what would have happened with CP3, because CP3 is much better than Steve Nash. He's younger. He also plays defense. He's not a defensive liability. That would have been crazy. And I think CP3 would have given Dwight enough touches. And really, Steve Nash wanted to do that, but he was just injured throughout the year. So it was just a nightmare. And they blew their one and only chance to try to convince him to stay. So I don't blame him for going. Now, did he make the right decision by going to Houston? Because I think that the Golden State Warriors, I think their team is better than the Houston Rockets, especially when they got Iggy. I know they were saying they were trying to get Iggy and then figure out a way to sign and trade and get Dwight Howard. Imagine that team. Dwight Howard, David Lee, Iggy, Klay Thompson, Steph Curry. Oh my goodness. That would have been the best team in the Western Conference by far. That would have been the team that goes to the finals. And Dwight Howard would have had something that he's never had in his career. He would have had a guy that can actually rebound the ball, because throughout Dwight's career, he's always the only guy that gets the boards. He has to do all the rebounding, but with David Lee out there, he can focus on his post game, do his post move. David Lee is going to get offensive rebounds. If Curry or Klay misses a three, David Lee can help on the boards. That would have been amazing to watch. But you have to remember that that scenario wouldn't be easy to pull off, because they'd have to do a sign and trade. It would have been possible, but not likely. Who knows? Maybe Klay Thompson would get dealt. Maybe he would get traded away. Maybe somebody else. So that fantasy that I just listed, that I just talked about, maybe those players aren't really all together. They're not all there. But either way, by going to the Houston Rockets, he doesn't have to deal with any of that BS, waiting around, seeing if they can make that happen. All he had to do was sign it, go to the Houston Rockets, play with James Harden, play with all those other young guys. And then there's even reports, there's rumors that they're trying to bring over Jay Smoove. That would be a great fit. If they bring Jay Smoove to the Rockets, now all of a sudden, when you play against the Rockets, you don't want to go into the paint, because you have Jay Smoove and Dwight Howard chasing you down on every attempt in there. That would be so, their defense would be so good. Offensively, they would be good. They got great players. James Harden is a slasher, a shooter. They got other shooters. And now all of a sudden, Oklahoma City, they've got to be feeling really bad about letting James Harden go. Because if they would have just re-signed James Harden, then Dwight Howard, him going to the Rockets, it's not that good of a deal for him, because there's no James Harden there. And really, when you think about it, it was such a huge mistake. Obviously, they did it for money reasons, but when you go to the finals, you need to keep the team together that made it to the finals. I mean, we've seen it happen before. We've seen the Dallas Mavericks let go of Tyson Chandler, Jason Terry, all the guys that got them to the finals and won the championship. They let all those guys go, and then they expected to still somehow get back to that level of play. It's just not going to happen. And that's one of the reasons why Dwight Howard, when he was considering the Dallas Mavericks, he's looking at that team like, yeah, you got Dirk. Dirk's kind of old. He's going to be here a few more seasons, but then that's it. But who else is there? It's just not. When you have the winning formula, the formula that gets you there to the promised land, you've got to try to keep it together. As soon as you break it up, it's not happening anymore. So the Oklahoma City Thunder, this decision is coming back to haunt them, because if they would have signed Harden, they should have put him in the starting lineup. He shouldn't be coming off the bench. You see what he's doing for the Houston Rockets. He's not a bench player. He's a starter. So that's a little sad. And before I continue, I was down in the game. Look at me getting back. Look at that steal. That save by LeBron to Jerry West. Bounce past Tim Hardaway. What a game. I go down again, but I'm fighting my way back into it. But now that Dwight is on the Rockets, I'm interested to see how much his game improves, because he's got Kevin McHale, who's one of the best power forwards of all time, as his head coach. He's got Hakeem the Dream. Hakeem's going to be giving him lessons now all year round. That's something special, because we know from Amari Stoudemire, it was leaked that per session to train with Hakeem the Dream and learn his moves and everything, it costs $50,000 per session or something crazy like that. Some ridiculous number like that. I don't know if Hakeem is going to be charging Dwight Howard $50,000 anymore, because he's working for his organization. It's in his best interest for Dwight Howard to turn into the best center in the game, without a doubt, without question, to really improve. So Hakeem is going to be schooling him all the time. Who knows how good Dwight Howard is going to be in a couple of seasons? So this news is very exciting as an NBA fan. It's your turn now. I want you to tell me what you think of Dwight Howard going to the Houston Rockets. And how do you think the Lakers are going to respond? As soon as Dwight Howard made that decision, he posted it on Twitter. He changed his Twitter picture, his icon, his bio, his location to the Houston Rockets. Kobe Bryant goes on Instagram and he says, "Vamos." He posts a picture of him and Pau Gasol. How do you think Kobe is going to bounce back? You know this has got to motivate him. Coming back from the injury, he's got to be extra motivated now that Dwight Howard didn't want to stay. And the speech that he gave Dwight Howard to make him stay is that you got to learn from the best. We're going to teach you. I mean, what he told Dwight was probably like, come on, cuh. Do you really think I'm going to stay if you're going to tell me some BS like that? That's not what I want to hear. I want to hear, okay, we're going to give you the ball in the post and run the offense through you. And we're going to play defense so that you're not getting into foul trouble because we're letting all of our people get into the paint. That's what Dwight Howard wanted to hear, but Kobe ain't got time for that. And that was such a bad defensive possession, giving up the dunk. But how about me making another comeback? I was down by 10, 11 or something. I make another comeback. I have the lead. 14 seconds left. I can deliver the dagger. And right there, now that I'm watching the video, it looks like I could have gone in and slammed it. But I'm in the paint anyway. Double team. Nick Anderson. Splash. I missed a three. Only 10 seconds left in the game. I'm playing on-ball defense. I'm trying to stop this last score. He gets right by me with Carmelo. He misses the layup, but he gets the offensive rebound. 0.3 seconds. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my gosh.
Wow, that is a heartbreaking possession. We got Carmelo in a contact layup, and then we give up that. 0.3. We can only do something quick. I don't even know if we can shoot it in time. I don't even get it inbounded. That's a new move. And I lose that game. Wow. I've heard so many nightmare stories about people losing games at the end, right at the end. I've read it on the forums, Operation Sports. Some people saying they lobbed it from full court, all kinds of crazy things. So now I'm 1-1.